Here's more wrestling news for September 17th, 2022, and we're starting off with Gable Steveson, who signed with WWE last year, but the Olympian hasn't exactly been proving himself in the company. Despite being a high-profile name, Steveson reportedly hasn't shown the desired level of improvement in training, with initial plans for him to be on the main roster at this point now just a distant memory. In the Wrestling Observer, Meltzer reports that things may go from bad to worse for Steveson's WWE run, as he could simply return to amateur wrestling. WWE signed Steveson while he was still competing for the University of Minnesota, meaning he could go for another year of college wrestling if he wanted, and that the new season is set to start in a few months. If so, that would mean WWE would have to wait even longer before using him on screen, which could even cause WWE to release the Olympian from his contract. Steveson is currently not listed as a talent with current plans to be used, according to the report, though has been training with former WWE superstar Mr. Kennedy. Gable Steveson joined WWE with a ton of buzz, but has been a dud so far, and if he does choose to continue college wrestling, then it may just be a matter of time before he and WWE part ways. On this week's SmackDown, WWE determined the next challengers to the Usos, and it was the Brawling Brutes who got the win. The team of Ridge Holland and Butch dispatched of Hit Row, The New Day, and Imperium to get the win, leading to a lot of reactions online. Fans were elated to see the Brutes get the win, as they've yet to have a direct opportunity at the Usos and their WWE Tag Team titles. Many fans borrowed a line from Sheamus calling the win an absolute banger, and special praise was lavished on Triple H for booking the match. While many responded by saying that the Usos are likely to retain, this title match should be a great contest, and do you think the Brawling Brutes were the right call? Let us know in the comments. Since taking the reins as WWE's head of talent relations, the game has brought back several former superstars, with many more expected to return. Everyone who's been brought back was released not too long ago, and now Tyler Breeze could be next on the list. WWE released Breeze in June 2021, over a decade after he signed, and a new report by Zero News states that Breeze has been backstage a lot recently. While there is no confirmation yet, he could return to the company in the future, especially since he is considered to be a Triple H guy. Breeze was with WWE for over a decade, but had very little championship success, but that all could change should the King of Kings give him a call. Time will tell if Tyler Breeze is the next name to return to WWE, but something big is being planned for some unlikely names. Since Triple H took over as head of creative, there have already been changes made to WWE, and according to Dave Meltzer, more are in the works. He writes, "We were told that Paul Levesque has some surprises coming who are not people being talked about. One name that people do want to see as a surprise is Bray Wyatt, who was released in July 2021, despite being massively popular with fans." Speaking on the subject of The Fiend during a recent interview with Ariel Helwani, Triple H teased Wyatt's return, talking about what it was like to work with someone as creative as he is. The Wrestling Observer newsletter reports that there have been increased talks about Wyatt returning to WWE, and while talks did stall recently, it's being called not a dead issue. It's also covered that Wyatt is unlikely to join another promotion, as his asking price has been prohibitively high, with many companies simply unable to justify bringing him in. At the time of his release, Wyatt was being paid around the same as former UFC champion Ronda Rousey and 14-time world champion Randy Orton, and just one tier below Brock Lesnar and Roman Reigns. One source said that while Triple H is inclined to bring Bray back, many backstage aren't happy about it, including both superstars and members of creative. This follows on from reports from October last year, which said that Bray had been difficult at times, with the internal opinion being that he deserved to be fired by WWE. Though Wyatt does have plenty of friends in WWE, not everyone will be thrilled to see him back if he returns, and that will no doubt be a factor in Triple H's next move. From bringing back released talent to changing NXT 2.0 back to NXT, the Triple H era of creative has seen a ton of changes, mostly for the better, and whether the decisions are liked or not, these changes aren't ending anytime soon. As of late, EC3 and Velveteen Dream have had some harsh words for each other after the former Impact World Champion accused Dream of filming people in the bathroom. Dream denied the claim and instead accused EC3 of using cocaine, a claim that the latter has also denied. Now there's been another chapter in this saga, as well. On the Wrestling Outlaws show, EC3 claimed that WWE employees thanked him for exposing Velveteen Dream's bathroom incident. What else could I possibly even say or bother to address? It's done. He recorded people trying to urinate in my bathroom. That's the truth. You asked me a question regarding this man who I haven't thought about in many years, and that story came to mind. WWE employees thanked me for telling that story out loud, so there's no thought of bringing him back to the company from those said employees. Dream has said that while he left his phone in EC3's bathroom during a house party, that he didn't film anyone, and reportedly proved this to a guest at the party. The former NXT North American champion was deemed a public relations nightmare prior to his WWE release, so while he's hopeful for a return one day, don't bet on Velveteen Dream getting back in a WWE ring. When Alexa Bliss became involved in Bray Wyatt's storylines in 2020, it resulted in the former women's champion embracing a darker side. The character dubbed Dark Alexa saw Bliss flex her acting chops, but after a series of false starts, she eventually returned to normal earlier this year. Now Bliss may be able to embrace the Dark Alexa character, as a report from Zero News notes that WWE is planning to give her a darker persona. This is something Bliss won't be opposed to, as she recently tweeted that she misses the character when responding to a fan. In recent months, Bliss has been aligned with Asuka and Bianca Belair and has been feuding with Damage Control, but it looks like it'll soon be time for Alexa to go it alone as her darker alter ego once again. Right now, the biggest issue in AEW is CM Punk and the comments he made at the All Out Media Scrum, which preceded the backstage fight. A lot has been said about Punk and what happened, and now we're learning more about what took place. In the Wrestling Observer newsletter, Dave Meltzer writes that all sides agree that CM Punk threw the first punch, but he did so for a very specific reason. It's noted that at this point in the evening, Punk believed that a fight was going to break out and wanted to beat the Elite to the inevitable first punch. It's also reported that Punk sucker punched Matt Jackson, and that Ace Steel, who threw a chair that hit Nick Jackson in the eye, was questioned by a producer why he did that. It's been reported that Steel wanted to protect his wife, who was in the room with a broken leg, but the unnamed producer reportedly questioned why Steel would escalate the situation with weapons if he wanted to protect her. Now, the Elite, CM Punk, and Ace Steel have all been removed from AEW programming, and we'll have to wait until the ongoing investigation ends for Tony Khan to decide what to do next. More from AEW, as during this week's Dynamite, Luigi Primo made his debut after becoming a viral sensation for his pizza-related antics. Luigi went viral thanks to a video of him twirling pizza dough while battling an opponent during a match, and he's now opened up about his AEW journey. Speaking to Wrestling Inc., Luigi credited the video as getting him a foot in the door in AEW and said it was someone in the company who reached out to him, though he opted not to name who. Luigi's presence on Dynamite consisted of a backstage interview with Alex Marvez that was disrupted when Ethan Page suddenly appeared to attack him, something the pizza-tossing wrestler proudly pointed out caused a spike in the ratings. Primo added that he sees this week's appearance on Dynamite as the start of more AEW work, though that decision will have to come from Tony Khan. Luigi's appearance on this week's Dynamite just goes to show how useful the internet and social media can be, and after going viral for his indie show antics, perhaps we'll be seeing more of Luigi Primo. Now, Orange Cassidy's laid-back persona has won over audiences, but with his cool demeanor, you wouldn't expect him to be on a high-pressure game show. Nevertheless, that's going to happen, as this week, AEW tweeted a trailer for the upcoming series of Netflix's The Floor is Lava game show, which will feature Cassidy, Chris Statlander, and Chuck Taylor. The show will enter its third season on September 30th, and as usual, Freshly Squeezed with its calm self tweeted a response reading, "Okay, this is it, it's here." While Cassidy and Taylor have remained regular fixtures on TV, The Floor is Lava will be the first appearance for Statlander in the last month, as she's currently out recovering from a torn ACL, which is expected to keep her out for 6 months. As for Cassidy, he'll face AEW All-Atlantic champion Pac on next week's Grand Slam Dynamite, so perhaps his Floor is Lava appearance will see a new champion try to beat the dreaded obstacle course. Back to WWE, and over the past couple of months, Triple H has made a lot of changes since being appointed WWE's head of creative and head of talent relations. So far, those changes have been met with praise by fans who appreciate the support the game is giving former NXT superstars, and now another popular change is in the works. According to Sean Ross Sapp behind Fightful's paywall, Shotzi's tank is back on the road and could be used moving forward. Among those changes was Shotzi Blackheart simply becoming Shotzi and losing the tank she drove to the ring that was endearing for many fans. If fans missed it, they may be in for some good news. Fightful Select can confirm that there were plans in place as of Thursday night to deliver the tank to Anaheim, California, which is the site of SmackDown for September 16th. Ultimately, Shotzi's tank didn't appear last night, but she did have a face turn, coming to the aid of Raquel Rodriguez and taking a stance against Damage Control. Shotzi and her tank were beloved in NXT, and the decision to remove it was met with a lot of backlash, and with the tattooed superstar a face again, it may just be a matter of time before her tank is back on TV. When Kenta joined WWE in 2014, WWE made a huge deal about his arrival, even having Hulk Hogan officiate the contract signing in Kenta's native Japan. Unfortunately, Kenta wouldn't share the success of other prominent indie signings like Kevin Owens and Finn Balor, and he also wasn't allowed to use his GTS finisher. Kenta claimed last week that not using the move he invented was the worst 4 years of his wrestling career, and we now know more about the move. In the latest edition of the Wrestling Observer newsletter, Dave Meltzer filled in the blanks, confirming the suspicion that Kenta was banned from using the move due to its relation to CM Punk, who had walked out of WWE the same year Kenta signed. WWE eventually came around and Kenta got a huge pop when he did use it, but after he injured Brian Kendrick with the move, the decision was made to ban it again. Now Kenta can use the move as much as he wants, thanks to signing with New Japan as part of the Bullet Club, no matter if CM Punk did steal his finisher all those years ago. Of course, CM Punk won't be using the GTS for some time either, as he's not only injured, but his future with AEW is unclear. Following the All Out fight, Punk, The Elite, and others were pulled from AEW programming, but they won't be given the chance to wrestle elsewhere. According to a report in Dave Meltzer's Wrestling Observer newsletter, the wrestlers are unable to work elsewhere due to their employment status within AEW. For Omega and the Young Bucks, their positions as EVPs of AEW mean that all outside bookings run through Tony Khan in the office, while Punk is a moot point given his injury. Promoters who have shown interest in any of the suspended talent are being told that anyone serving an AEW suspension is simply unavailable until their suspensions are over. The only way any of these suspended stars will work at this time is if they no longer work for Tony Khan, and we seriously doubt that's a move anyone currently prohibited from AEW TV is willing to make. And we're ending today with Ricky Steamboat, and prior to Ric Flair's last match in July, it was rumored that the Dragon would be the final person to face him in the ring. Steamboat was one of Flair's greatest opponents, but did not face the Nature Boy in his final match, but will now be lacing up his boots again. The Big Time Wrestling promotion has confirmed that the Dragon will be part of their November 27th event at the Dorton Arena in Raleigh, North Carolina, but his opponent has not been confirmed. This will be Steamboat's first match in over a decade, with his most recent being a June 2010 tag match with his son Richie as part of WWE's then developmental ground FCW. Steamboat had been retired for 15 years before his return to in-ring action in 2009 and 2010, and proved that he could still go in the ring, so it'll be interesting to see the Dragon back in the ring for at least one more time. Well guys, that's our news for today. Please share your comments below. Also hit the like button, subscribe to our channel, and hit the bell icon to receive all notifications. And as always, thanks for watching.